The following health update is brought to you by Health by Yourself. Visit us on the web at healthbyyourself.net. We hear people being described as being left-brained or right-brained. When you understand how we were built in terms of left and right brain, it's very empowering. It can make you a much more effective person. On the other hand, if you get stuck in either one hemisphere, it's a real problem for your health, but also for your effectiveness. Most people think right brain is for art, left brain is for math, so they think in terms of subjects. It's not the subject or the content that determines the half of the brain you're using, but it's more the newness of the content or the subject. So let's say for the first time you see a new painting. To really see the painting, you need your right brain. After you've seen it 5 or 6 times, you might start to see, oh, that's the one with the bridge, or that's the painting with the guy with the big arm. That's when the left brain kicks in. The left brain sees the minimal amount of information to identify the painting. The right brain actually sees the painting. And anybody who works with computers knows about thumbnail images. You have a high resolution image, think of that as being your right brain, then you have a little thumbnail. The advantage of the thumbnail, which is your left brain, is that it saves you a lot of space. So you can cram tons of little thumbnails into your left brain, but your right brain is what you need to see the high resolution. It also applies to exercise, movement, hearing, but it also applies to philosophy, religion, and ideas. So let's take a left brain person and compare him to the typical right brain dominant person. A left brain person cannot think outside the box. A left brain dominant person can take instructions really well. They do great in their job and they usually do great in school. The problem with the left brain dominant person is that if they're off track, they have no way of really recognizing it because they really can't see outside their own box. Most despots and dictators were very intelligent and were left brained. A right brain dominant person is the exact opposite. A right brain person likes new ideas and new things for the sake of the newness. The problem is the right brain dominant person doesn't take those ideas and convert them into a plan. So their ideas aren't implemented and they have no way to really test their ideas. So a right brain dominant person is overwhelmed because they're not able to form thumbnails. They're scatterbrained. They're very creative. They don't like to be controlled, but they're not very effective, even if they have the greatest ideas in the world. A very effective person has a left and a right brain developed and a left and a right brain connected, and that's the key. So an effective person can think outside the box and get a new idea. Once they get a new idea, they don't search for more new ideas, they first try to implement that idea. After they implement the idea, whether it be a business or whether it be a parenting method or a teaching method, it could be anything, but once they implement it, they reevaluate how the plan is going, and this goes on endlessly. This can be a very powerful person and have a great impact on his society. So what can you do to get your left and right brain working together? Basically, there are 2 things you have to do. 1, whenever you hear an idea that's different than what you could imagine, always check it out. This will develop your right brain. And by the way, if you don't do this, your right brain will wither away, and at some point, it will be almost impossible for you to think of anything different than what you already know. So just by practicing, you can develop your right brain. Once you develop sort of new ideas, you need to implement them. In order to implement them, it forces you to break it down into steps, and that is when you use your left brain. Thanks for listening. Visit us on the web at healthbyyourself.net.